bags, only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome. I'm gonna.
Assalamualaikum and hey guys, my name is Ahmad Shai bin Abdul Wahid and my number matrix is 2020604516, and today I'll be introducing to you about electronic sports. So, for those people who doesn't know what is electronic sports are also known as esports, and esports is a form of competition using online video games. So, in Malaysia, our Ministry of Youth and Sports, Minister Sheikh Sadiq Sheikh Abdul Rahman, he announced the building of a new esports stadium. So, the Minister of Youth and Sports believe that creating a team that encompasses all parties is vital to the success of the plan. You know, there are a total of 14 million gamers in Malaysia, and the total game revenues is $586.7 million. And I am one of the gamers in Malaysia. However, there are many concerns shared about esports industry. Concerns such as gambling, parental disapproval, and the involvement of underage players in these esports. There are some issues that will be faced by our Ministry of Youth and Sports, such as less attraction and responses from the youth generation. Then, they also have low budget on improving these esports. If this happens, esports in Malaysia will not be able to thrive in our country and also cannot be the successful platform for our youth generation. Not only that, Malaysia also will not receive and send any representative from the esports, as there were just the small amount of the youth that take part in this. Next, the youth and the youngsters that have passion in gaming will slowly lose their interest because esports in Malaysia couldn't achieve the target to be the successful platform. This can be related because nowadays we can see that we can also gain benefit and income by joining and getting involved in esports tournament. For example, if the gamer won in the PUBG tournament, they will receive prizes, and in the prizes is included that money and the trophies. So what I can conclude is that esports is really important for the youngsters that have passion in gaming.
I'm Muhammad Asadel and I'm going to be talking about planning. 2.0 planning. Esports is growing faster than any other industry. The popularity of esports among the youth is reaching not only developed nations such as South Korea, Sweden, or the United States, but also developing countries within the Southeast Asian region. Around the globe, many governments have been monitoring the growth of esports as an important youth engagement platform, sports and recreation genre, as well as a major entertainment industry that can be incorporated into government policies. However, there are many concerns shared about the esports industry, including gambling, parental disapproval, sustainability of an esports career, and the involvement of underage players in the scene. All the issues raised must be tackled swiftly in order to ensure the steady growth of the esports industry. The creation of the strategic plan for esports development by the Ministry of Youth and Sports aims to bring legitimacy to the esports industry. It is designed to ease the concerns of various stakeholders and encourage the public to invest in esports, physically and/or mentally. Planning is defining organizational goals, establishing a strategy to reach these goals, and developing a comprehensive hierarchy of plans to integrate and coordinate activities. Planning is the most basic managerial function. When done properly, it sets the direction for the organizing, leading, and controlling functions. The importance of planning is planning sets standards and major objectives for the organization. Secondly, planning coordinates effort. Thirdly, planning reduces uncertainty. Moreover, planning reduces redundancy. And lastly, planning helps to determine what opportunities are needed to exploit. In creating the first ever strategic plan for esports development, A strategic approach was adopted by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The plan aims to cater all stakeholders across the esports scene. Hence, it is very important for the drafting process of the plan to include the voices and opinions of all stakeholders. The Minister of Youth and Sports believed that creating a team that encompasses all parties is vital to the success of the plan. A task force was created comprising of industry leader, esports senior marketing officer, professional esports athlete, as well as the National Sports Council and the Ministry of Youth, and strategic plans as well as the concerns raised by all stakeholders. The task force worked very closely with the Esports Malaysia Association, ESM, Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation, MDEC, and the gaming community to get all the necessary input during the drafting process. Since the operation began, task force members have made over 170 direct engagements, consulted more than 27 local professional athletes, 3 international organizations, 32 tech industry representatives, 13 national esports bodies, the ASEAN Sports Committee, the Manila Sea Games official esports partner, 9 ministries, and collected over 512 database entries. This process was conducted from January to August 2019. Based on all the findings, input, and feedback, the task force has come up with 5 strategic priorities with 24 initiatives that will be implemented over the course of 5 years from 2020 to 2025. Collaboration with the ESM will be crucial in ensuring that the goals set in this plan will be accomplished. The objective for the community level is for all Malaysians to better understand and participate in esports, forming a healthy and close-knit community that can fully enjoy the benefits of esports in harmony with their peers. Meanwhile, the objective for competitive level is for Malaysian esports athletes to achieve success at international level esports tournaments and demonstrate that Malaysia is indeed a formidable contender in the esports scene. As for the industry level, the objective is for the esports industry as a whole to bring positive economic impacts to Malaysia and stimulate job employment at multiple levels.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Alifatihah binti Abdul Ghaffar. My student ID number is 2020626834. Today I will be explaining about managing the issue in organizing. An organizational strategy is the sum of the actions a company tends to take to achieve long-term goals. Together, these actions make up a company's strategic plan. Organizational strategy must arise from a company's mission. The concept of organizing consists of specialization, departmentalization, authority, line and staff authority, chain of command, span of control, centralization, and decentralization. Organizing is important as it encourages development and also growth. Next, it ensures efficient administration. It brings together various departments by grouping similar and related jobs under a single specialization. This creates harmony in work. One of the problems that esport in Malaysia is facing is that esport is viewed as a toxic culture. The ministry uses the concept of delegation. Streaming platforms such as Twitch, YouTube, Facebook must regularly be monitored with the content they provide to viewers. This is so esport can be promoted as a healthy lifestyle and culture to the public. Next is the lack of provision for athletes' license, as well as resources for esport support staff. They lack recognition and awards for esport industry. The ministry uses the concept of specialization to overcome this issue. Systematic national athletes selection process to represent our country and give due recognitions with proper high-performance training module in place to improve for esport excellence. Other than that, young athletes do not have proper guidance to lead them in the esport industry. The concept that is used is decentralization. The ministry inquires the school to guide young athletes. Young talented esport athletes can refine their skills while still going through the school system and receive positive guidance. Last but not least, there is a lack of structured semi-pro and professional leagues, as well as guidelines to sort players with different skills into their categories. The ministry uses the concept of specialization to solve this problem. The ministry established a national level e-sport league. This provides opportunities for investors to build facilities for these leagues.
Hello, my name is Nur Ain Harun and my student ID is 2020626842 and I'm from group 5. Having the ability to make quick yet a good decision is imperative in all life situations, and that is why decision making is one of the elements and very important in the management. Determining in making decision is important and it needed both for tackling the problem as well as taking maximum advantages of the opportunities that available. Correct decision making can reduce complexities, uncertainties, and diversities. In order to make eSport as the most used platform in Malaysia and to attract the youth generation attention, it is sure that our Ministry of Sport and Youth, Sheikh Sadiq bin Sheikh Abdul Rahman, has been through many obstacles and difficulties. Many of the communities, clearly the parents, worried about their children getting involved in the e-sport. This is because they have bad assumptions of it and not know much about the e-sport, and stated that by joining these activities are not bring any advantages and just wasting money and time. It is not an easy responsibility to carry out, but I strongly believe that by making the right decision, it might help our Ministry of Sport and Youth to carry on his mission in making eSport as the most successful platform in Malaysia. The first importance of decision making is helping in planning and policies. For example, our Ministry of Youth and Sport, Sheikh Sadiq bin Sheikh Abdul Rahman, held a large segment of e-sport enthusiasts for students, whereby he presenting a big pool of potential manpower to draw from. To recognize these students' efforts, we should implement an official university e-sport volunteer program, whereby the students who volunteer to take part in the esports will receive extra credits in the course that they are studying. Next, the importance of decision making is helping someone to be able to choose the best solution regarding to the problems that occurred based on the alternatives and choices listed. As we can see, the youth generation and the youngsters nowadays lack of experience and need to improve their skills in gaming in order to join the e-sport. So, to ensure that the volunteers have the specific skills to carry out their job adequately, we must create and regulate the training program that trains the volunteers in the specific areas. For example, marshalling, broadcasting, production, and many more.
Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Nasrun bin Nasir Ahmad. Today I will talk about how Ministry of Sport managed to control the issue about the e-sport in Malaysia. First of all, controlling is one of the four main elements in the management, which is controlling come at the last. We can define it that control is we make something happen the way it's supposed to be, and the process where the people in charge got wrong. According to Robert J. Mockler, controlling is a systematic effort by business management to compare the performance to predetermined standard or objective and expected to take any alternative action if required. Also, to make sure the resources are being used in the most effective and efficient way. to achieve the organization goal. There are three types of control that being used in public sector or private sector, which is feed-forward, concurrent, and feedback. In case of how Ministry of Sport and Youth manage the issue about the e-sport in Malaysia, controlling process play important role to ensure that the objective can be achieved without failure and make sure there is no deviation happen in the way. There are few issues in e-sport that will become torn to achieve the objective that has been set. For example, a negative view about e-sport in public eye, and gaming addiction, and lack of policy and guidelines. In order to avoid that, the former Ministry of Sport and Youth suggests a corrective action for this problem. For example, to improve the public viewpoint about e-sport by doing a proper awareness campaign about the benefits of e-sport and the future possibility that e-sport will bring, and to clear the misconception about the e-sport. Secondly, about the gaming addiction that has been plagued since years ago, and it has been declared by WHO that gaming addiction as addictive behavior disorder. To overcome this problem, the Ministry of Sport and Youth has suggested that we must have a proper plans to educate, prevent, and treat gaming addiction, and not by shutting down the discussion. There should be a nationwide outreach campaign led by the eSport Malaysia Association to continuously raise awareness in the community, and the teacher and parents also should know the symptom of gaming addiction so we can prevent it early before it become more worse. Other than that, the lack of official guidelines become a thorn to create a sustainable professional career in e-sport. Many irresponsible parties abused the athletes' right because the athlete did not know their duties, and that make the career in e-sport look unfavorable and being seen as a career that lack future benefits and unsustainable. To prevent this, Ministry will ask Malaysia Association e-sport to provide aid for relevant matters, like a drafting contract for the player and providing aid when necessary. This need to overcome to achieve the vision that has been set for e-sport development in Malaysia.
Hello, my name is Nur Shafika Saharun, and my turn in conclusion. As an overall conclusion, we need to create an organized structure for our sport athletes so it could improve their education in this career. More than that, it also improving our government support of athletes, increasing inclusivity in sport, and promoting sport amongst in Malaysians. Next, in terms of rakyat responsiveness, our focus will be on developing effective system and creating innovative solutions on how the Ministry of Sport and Youth manage the issue of e-sport in Malaysia. Last but not least, with the assistance of fellow citizens and government agencies, I am very sure we can bring e-sport into the mainstream and be a nation that embraces the unstoppable phenomena e-sport in our country.
Si lo pillo por la calle dice, si lo pillo por la disco dice, si lo pillo